guys, now it's the time of the show where we interview someone amazing. I know I'm loud, but I'm just so excited because we love this guy. We'll get into it. We've been following him for so long and applauding from afar, and now he's here. He's a comedian. He's a genius. His name is Mark Viera. Yes! Welcome to the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Latinos Out Loud. That's me, by the way. I'm a Latino out loud. That's why I got the shirt.
What do you think we thought of when we derived the name? We thought Mark Viera.
You
What
thought,
is he?
What would attract him to the show?
The title of the podcast.
He is wearing a shirt.
Latino.
Latinos Out Loud. He came into it with a T-shirt, right?
That's it.
He made it at home.
I made it, yep.
I love it. Oh, you have a screen press?
I took
one
a
of those?
Hanes and I wrote Latinos Out Loud. 'Cause I'm-
In like puffy paint?
yeah.
Do they still use that shit?
Yeah, then I put sprinkles on it. Because I like mine to glisten.
Rhinestones.
Yes.
These two together are
Bling.
lethal.
Bling.
It's bling.
Bling.
Just let it rock,
My
Vago.
shit is blinged out.
Yo, you blinked out right now,
Oh,
man.
you my blingy. But nobody see Juan Vago's shirt. Mira, mira la gallina de Conflay. I know that gallina, bro. Conflay's the worst shit ever, and then you reminded me how bad it is.
Damn, Vago, you taking him to
He's taking me.
Well, it's a parody. It's called La Creta.
La creta.
Okay.
It's right if you go like that. Like, that's how you sounded when you got to school after you ate conflay in the morning. Mira. I pledge you later.
This is what I was worried about because there's so much love in this room
Yeah,
right
there
now.
is. There's a lot of
Like, there's not going to be much structure to this interview. And guess what? I'm okay
No, go
with
ahead.
that.
Do your stupid
No,
interview.
Mark.
Do your stupid
No,
interview.
Mark.
Whatever.
No, Mark.
Mira,
All right, Mark.
Con
We're not.
zapatos nuevos. Now she
Mark,
want to do an interview.
you
Mira
sullied
esta.
my boots.
Ay, mira, Oprah. Go ahead.
Mark.
Ask questions.
So, Mark, you're 5. Talk about how it was in your life when you were 5 years old. Go ahead.
Ooh, good start.
We're going way back.
Kindergarten.
When I
Go ahead. Were you funny from kindergarten?
it was very gay.
What?
I
Excellent.
was. No, I'm just kidding.
You knew when you were 5.
Because I went. Okay. Because when I went down the slide in the park where I lived, I used to go down with my ass out.
Oh.
So I knew that I just wanted to just slide it in. You know what I mean? So that was. I was 5. And, no, I'm kidding. All right, I'm kidding.
It's going to be a great episode.
No.
Great
all right.
episode.
But right,
Foreshadowing.
that was-
Foreshadowing.
I was. Who goes down the slide like that on the knees backwards?
Ow.
And you can hear it.
Ay,
I ain't down
that'd
the
be
slide.
so painful.
Okay, no. I didn't do that.
Yo.
I was funny. I was funny at 5. I was always making fun of things that I saw even as a kid. But my grandparents who raised me, they were very funny, both of them. So I owe a lot of my comedy in general to the both of them because I mean my mom as well, but I was around my grandparents more. But they allowed me to be funny as a kid because I was good at like imitating everything that I saw. It's the gift that I use now when I'm doing stand up. So I was just a funny little kid, man. I would watch stuff on TV, Robin Williams or whatever was on, and I was just imitating it. You know what I mean? A family member would come over and they would leave and I would imitate them. So I was just always con el juego. I was always in trouble for that. You know, I used to be like, mira, Titi talks like that. Yo, what time we gonna go? Like I was, you know, because I had a tia that smoked. She still, man, that bitch had a deep voice since I met that bitch. She sounded more like my uncle, but she was my tia. Pero ¿cómo está? Ay, tú estabas grande ahora. I was like, yo, who is this bitch, yo? But so I was always doing that. I was always in trouble. But they laughed and then I got in trouble. Like they would laugh hysterically and then I got in, you know, ay, vete pa'l cuarto, estúpido, y paga el televisor. So I used to go in the room and be like, damn, man, I gotta fucking turn the TV off. You know, so I was always in trouble because of my creativity. It's weird, but you know, now I look back and I'm like, wow, I get paid for this shit now. Before I used to get mira un puño en la boca, mira estúpido.
That's a good
Shut up.
segue from my first question,
ahead.
actually, is how and when did you realize you can make a career out of this?
About a week ago, I realized.
That first check that came
But
in
that
last
first,
week.
yeah,
It cleared
they
too, it
paid
cleared.
me from Gotham Comedy Club $75, and I was like, yo,
Yeah.
$75? $75? Yo, could do shit. You know what's funny, man? You know, you get paid a little bit here and there. You never realize that you could make a career until you stop working. And this is all that you have. You know, now 11 years I've depended on comedy for every meal. And that's a big deal to me, man. I've made no money no other way except making people laugh for the last 11 years. That's crazy, man. That's
amazing.
crazy to me.
You'd be
you
like,
know?
Applaud.
this joke,
Applaud that.
this joke right here is the reason we
Do-
eating
do
steak
you-
tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still remember that moment? That moment where you're like, I'm out?
Yeah. I was working a job that, you know, that I liked at one time, and then it just got, you know, they wanted me to do more and not pay me, and then I was like, yo, I'm overwhelmed. They wanted me there 12 hours a day minimum.
Could you tell us what it was?
Yeah, I worked at St. Barnabas Hospital, and I used to be the director of 3 different services.
Wow.
And then they wanted me to take on more shit, and I was like, hold on, you didn't pay me for the other time that you added another service and another service, and you know what I mean. And so I needed the job. I had a family. I just bought a house. I was like, how do you can't leave your job for comedy? There's nothing there. But then they were really pushing me so hard.
Were you like a Patch Adams where you like used to like heal people through comedy? Like,
Yeah,
kinda-
I used to. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah. I used to.
that was
look,
a
man,
true story.
They used to pay me there to make people laugh, you know, because that's all I did all day. Outside of my responsibilities, I was always, you know, doing it. But then at night, I felt like it was like the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. How I felt back then and how I feel in hindsight, I felt like Superman and Clark Kent. You understand? Because Superman was Superman in real life, and he had to disguise himself, right, to fit in. That's how I felt like at that stupid fucking job. I used to wear the khaki pants with the cheap shoes, right, and the fucking ugly. I was overweight. I was 260 something pounds.
Wow.
I felt like shit inside. I felt like I looked like shit on the outside, and so I was like coming down on myself real hard, and I was like, nah, I gotta change this shit. And the comedy was saving me. It was saving me. Every night I did comedy, it saved me a little bit. And then finally I said, man, fuck this day job shit. And one day I was like, I'm not coming back. And I didn't go back. And I never went back. Isn't that crazy? Never
That
went
is
back.
so touching.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not doing this.
amazing.
And I got to be honest. I tell young comics, if any of them listen or if anybody wants to try comedy, you know, the only time comedy respects you is when you respect it. And, you know, when I gave comedy and when I had that conversation with the comedy gods, I say, and I said, if you look out for me, I will fucking be the best at this shit. I will work to be the best. And I swear to God, that's all I've done, man. When you see me on stage, you know some shit's about to go down. You know what I mean? So I pride myself on that.
Mark,
Always.
did you ever have like a comedian mentor, or was it something that where you were on your own? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that when you were going through the transition? Did you have like an older comedian giving you some advice?
Yeah, and you might know who this is, but there was a comedian out of the Bronx. His name was Rich Ramirez, and Rich Ramirez. Before I did my first set at Stand Up New York ever, I had never tried comedy before. I did the comedy class at Stand Up New York, and then I did their graduation show, which, you know, 40% of the class didn't even show up for the show. They just got too nervous, and so there was only about 7 of us on the show. We packed the place out. The night before that show, which was a Thursday, about 6 o'clock, the night before there was a show in the Bronx, New York, at a place called a Side Street. And Rich Ramirez was the host of that show every once a month on a Wednesday. I went there and I saw Rich Ramirez, Sarah Contreras, Joey Vega, Quinones, Herbie Quinones, and I swear to God, I was like, "There's no way." I hadn't even started. I said, "There's no way I'm gonna ever be that fucking funny." This dude, Rich Ramirez, was the truth, bro. He was so funny. And he passed away, but I asked him that night. I said, Rich, can I talk to you? I never met him. This dude gave me 5 minutes of his time after his show. And I said, I'm doing my first comedy show tomorrow. Is there anything you can tell me? I don't know if I'm prepared or not. And he just gave me the best advice. And he kept doing that until he passed away. And this is when I started to work for him cut 2 years later. He's booking me for some shows. And he and we just forged a wonderful relationship. But I make no mistake, that was my mentor. And I was a student of his, because he just, the way he dressed, you never saw him dress like shit when he got on stage. He looked good. He looked the part. It's those little things that you take forever. I will never go on stage looking like a fucking bum. It just won't happen. Sometimes I show up to a gig. I'm in Harlem and I just walk in. All right, that's a little different. But if you, or wherever in the Bronx, you know what I mean? But if you book me and I'm working, I look the part. I try my best to, haircut, shave, the whole 9 yards. Why? Because that's what Rich did. You know what I mean? He always put his best foot forward. So him and Angelo Lozada have been. I always say it. Rich helped me to get the guts, and Angelo made me funny. You know what I mean? Because he was course corrector. He was like, well, yo, that joke you doing? What's that? What are you doing with that? And I was like, oh, you mean when I got pulled over by the cop, that joke? And he was like, yeah. And I was just like, no, I have no idea what I'm doing with that joke. and then he goes, it's fucking brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's so brilliant. Work on that interaction between you and the cop, because it's honest. Latinos deal with cops a certain way, and you know what I mean? And we becoming even more Latin when they pull us over, and all that, right? We be like, pero what happened? Wait, what happened? Well, no, I'm okay. I don't, so we come up with these, right? We just get nervous and something happens and I don't even talk like that, but I'm talking like that now because I'm scared. We just get scared. We get shook and we do. So Angelo remains my mentor. I look to him when I'm getting ready to do this HBO thing, and I'm looking to Angelo to steer me, to give me the feedback that I need, so that when I get up there, I have amazing confidence. But when a dude like Angelo is giving you the thumbs up about something or what have you, I wouldn't have the HBO thing without him. I didn't submit. You know what I mean? I didn't even submit. And he goes, yo, this thing, July 19th is Tuesday. Did you submit? I said, nah, I don't submit shit. Mark Viera.
Oh.
Right?
Facts.
No, it's a true story. I'm being honest. I was just like, fucking Mark, come on, man. I've been doing this shit forever, and I'm going to win a contest?
Yeah.
He goes, how do you know how good you are if you don't expose yourself to the other comedians that are good? Now, if you're good, undeniably, you're going to win. And I said, okay. Right? I know he's talking, I'm listening, right? Sometimes you got to be a good listener. I just listened. I said, okay. I got off the phone. He sent me the link to send them I sent them a set that was already a few years old, but I believe in the material, right? Yeah. And I sent them that. Next thing you know, they're like, you're a finalist on this thing. You're fantastic. We loved your comedy. Then I won the shit, the whole shit, which,
yes.
Step 2 today. Yeah. And we're getting ready to tape HBO in a month. So
amazing.
Awesome.
Boom. How about that shit?
Can you describe a little bit for our listeners?
Pow! Boom! Bang! Bang! No, I'm just...
Can you describe a little bit of the grind as a comedian on the come up, as far as you're performing, your schedule, your week schedule as a comedian on the come up?
On the come up, you have to be obsessed with being on stage, because you're not getting a lot of stage time. 15 minutes, maybe 20, maybe. And that's when people will give you that much. But in the very beginning, it is a shit show, man. I humbly stood outside of Stand Up New York. I stood outside of Gotham. I stood outside of the Boston Comedy Club just to do 5 minutes, man. Freezing, hot, it didn't matter. I was so obsessed with 5 minutes that I would wait there forever if they told me you're going to go on later. You understand what I mean? And I had a family at home, and I had, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I was hungry. I'd go get a slice right down the street from Boston Comedy Club by NYU. I'd get one of them little, pizzas, eat that shit, and go right back to standing outside. And what they made us do was give out these little tickets in front of the club and say, hey, we got a show at 6:30. here's a free admission or $5 admission, and then my tickets have my name on them. So if you gave out if 5 of those people came back, you got 5 to 6 minutes.
See, I used to do that, but like there used to be comedians that did that were very animated. That they would be like, "Yo, you like comedy? Come through."
Yeah, no, I never did that.
I couldn't do that. I was
You're
scared.
Yeah,
You're
but I was
scaring
in.
me.
But you gotta go back with me though.
Yeah.
I just came out of work.
Yeah.
I had on fucking pantalones estúpido, ¿verdad? Mira, I Gap khakis with the bell bottoms, bro. I look horrible.
With pair of Durangos?
with,
No Durangos.
with the Durango boots. I
You still got a latex glove from the hospital on? I'm like, oh
with
shit.
with the hospital ID with the long thing, mira, that fucking to get in the room, mira, that shit. Mira, bien estúpido. I look with my fucking shirt tucked in. Hi, I'm Mark. I got a show tonight at the Boston Comedy Club. I looked like an idiot, but I didn't give a shit. I stood out there, like I said, if it was for 5 minutes meant everything. That's what I looked forward to all day. Nothing like now. Now I tell people the difference between then and now is that I was looking for funny. But when you get to a place where you have something to say, now the stage is my freedom. Who doesn't want freedom? You understand? So now I would kill for this shit. I would die for this shit. I would go to the end of the earth for this shit. Because my freedom is everything. When I'm on stage, I'm at my freest moment of the day. So when I'm driving to a show, I'm thinking about the freedom. When I get to the club, I'm like, oh my God, that moment that I get to breathe out all this shit. So that's the difference. Before I used to wait outside for 5 minutes. I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna do. I used to be like, yo, should I do the joke about the handicap guy and shit? I used to have the stupidest jokes. I had a DJ called DJ a joke about a DJ that I saw at a club that was handicapped. And it was horrible. Oh my! The premise is bad, yo. I used to live by that shit.
Oh
I used to swear. Now I see comics doing handicap jokes, and I'm like, yo, well, that's fucked up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but I wrote it. I'm like, yeah, but I wrote that shit 18 years ago when I was.
You would have been canceled.
Yeah, right. I would have been. Forget it. Now I would have been in fucking Facebook jail.
Yo, but speaking about your jokes, could you tell us your secrets? Like, what is your joke writing process?
Now it's anything that pretty much pisses me off, motivates me, aggravates me, makes me sad, goes on stage. It's immediate because I already know that the gift of funny is there. I know that I'll find the funny. But if I don't go through something and then go on stage and talk about it, I'll never find what makes it work when it comes to stand-up. Like, stand-up is that way. I don't sit down. I was just telling this to April Hernandez. I met her
Friend,
for the first time.
April
She's a
Lee
sweetheart.
Hernandez.
Yeah, April Lee Hernandez. I just met her. She asked me that same thing. And I said, I don't sit down and try to find funny shit to write. Like I said, getting pulled over. Some shit that startles you, scares you, infuriates you. When you go on stage and start breathing that shit out, people cry because they know that frustration, and you bond. You bond through that frustration. You bond through that struggle. So when I first started comedy, I used to take the train everywhere. I was a trained, 6 train. I lived on Castle Hill, and I used to go. The second I got to the comedy, the first thing I used to talk about was, yo, these fucking train, B. Like, yo, come on, man. Like, an empty train, and the dude, and I'm sitting in the map seat, and this motherfucker's all in my face on the map. I'm like, you calculating your shit now, Pops? Like, I'm sitting right here. I'm just trying to take a nap. You open your eyes, and this motherfucker looking straight at you. He's pointing at different stops. I'm going to stop at Freeman Street. Then I'm going to go to fucking... I'm like, yo, Papo, get out of my face, bro. So, again... Yo, the map seat's the worst. That shit is New York City hell right there. Yo, so taking the train is bad enough. But then you get the fucking seat, and that's the map seat. You like that look. You feel like a hostage. You feel like helping people. Yo, where you want to go? Come on. Yo te enseño, mira. No, take the 4. No, this one's local. Take the 4. It's going to go.
Oh my God.
You feel me? Like... So that was my reality. My reality was that I didn't know what to talk about. So I just talked about whatever was, and I didn't know how to write that. But now I know how to how to write it, like how to jot it down. While
Almost
I go
like a
later on.
science to it.
There's a little bit of a science for me because, again, if you and I have an argument, this shit could be the worst. When I get on stage, know that I'm gonna talk about your ass, and that argument be like that's gonna be it. Like, cause I have to. You understand? Like,
Wait
I
a
have to.
second. Your wife is a bodybuilder, right?
Ooh.
Do you
Wow.
ever?
Wow.
Fun fact.
Do you
Wow,
ever?
say so. Good work.
Like, wait,
I
cause
get home and she's like, "Come here. I want you to touch me. Yeah, touch me. Look, my toto's getting stronger. Hi." I'm like, wow. Look at it. It grew since yesterday. Mira. That shit, mira, is pumped.
what
I want
is-
you to. You're pumping me, Toto. I like it. I'm sorry. That was. You know what? Let's just delete that. That's not right. That's not what happened.
my cheeks.
That's,
But what does happen? Like do you?
Arnold Schwarzenegger talk Spanish. Mira, ven acá, touch it. Tócame el Toto. Ahora. Ay. I'm sorry. Ay, that's so stupid. I apologize. All right.
Oh my God.
What was the question?
How do we recover from
How
that?
do we do that? What was the question? I'm serious again. I'm serious. No, yeah.
Are we okay?
No, all my jokes now come from. They don't come from the lab. They come from my world. So everything is open to me. That's the beauty for me with stand up. Everything's open, available. So if we're pissed off, if we're mad, stuff that's funny, I will do, but it's not funny when it happens. It's funny when I deliver it, which is the difference.
Do you find that? I'm sorry, I'm on a roll because I'm into your relationship now, and,
Yeah.
and if I'm asking too much, we can delete
I will
it.
cut your shit off.
Okay. All right. Do you find sometimes that comedy eases situations, like do you infuse your comedy into, I don't want to call it arguing, but like any disagreements that you get into? And I'm asking this to see if it's the norm because I use it as a tactic at home, and I wanted to know as a man and as a comedian, do you use it strategically at home?
Not really. Not really. So you're probably doing it wrong.
Okay.
So just
Start
by
from
that,
scratch. Start from
I don't think your
scratch.
relationship's gonna work out. But if
well,
no, hold on
funny
a second.
you should say that.
No, listen. And listen, as
Mark, we'll talk off online.
Well,
listen,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm alone.
No,
on
what-
this
what-
island.
No, but
Okay.
I will support you is that the way you internalize things, the way I internalize things is through humor. So again, if you piss me off and I find something funny in the fact that you pissed me off, I'm gonna do it right then and there. I'm gonna be like, you said, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna come back with it as a comedian because I don't have an off switch in real life. And there, it doesn't matter where I'm at, my kid's graduation or whatever, and I'm fucking making fun of people. That's just, that's kind of, you know what I mean? My
switch
eyes
is
are
always
open.
on.
You can't tell me what to see and how to see it. It's how my brain does shit with it. So I don't know how to be serious. I'm at a funeral. Funerals are my
What?
my
Don't
favorite.
even. What are you?
Yo,
You have a whole
funerals
funeral
are my
set?
favorite place to act a fool because
God.
no, like you said, the healing process.
True.
Mira,
is-
it's an open casket, not an open mic, all right?
John, pero mira, este tiene rules. Who said so? I'm like, if my uncle died and he used to laugh when he was alive, he gonna be laughing. If he was here, he'd be like, it's funny, bro. I know I died yesterday, pero that motherfucker is funny.
Have family members should hire you for eulogies.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You're gonna make a
I'm
kiss.
well written and I'm well spoken, but
That's
I'm gonna be funny. I'm gonna be like,
It's a whole business right there.
yeah, right? Right? There's somebody writing Hallmark cards that are right. There's a job for this
Absolutely.
shit, man.
Heard you died.
So let's talk about the future.
The future.
The future. You're gonna
sir.
be recording a
Nice.
special.
A special for HBO Latino
Woo!
and HBO. Yes.
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 And so, what type of message, like what type of theme, what is going through your mind right now preparing for this special?
I want to be honest, and I want to be Mark Viera. I want to be myself. I don't want to put something out there that 10 years from now, people will be like, that shit. I did a Showtime special, an hour long Showtime special that people are still reciting today. That's the conflate joke. My grandmother out the window in the Bronx yelling shit out. That's a joke that, because I don't date myself by saying, yo, and in the year 2019, I just do whatever's funny, and these things have been lasting. So if that's how I'm gonna roll, then this will be no different. I'm gonna make sure that 10, 15, 20 years from now, this shit comes on HBO, people will be like, yo, that shit is hilarious today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know kind of what I want to do. I just don't have it sealed yet. It's still I call it like a living, breathing thing. And so I'll perfect it. And as I get closer to the day of the show, I'll keep doing that set, maybe 10, 15 times, 20 times right before I'm going to deliver it. You know what I mean?
Okay, last question. Social media.
Social media.
Instagram.
I'm not on any of them no more.
Okay.
That's it. So if they want to find me, they gotta send me a letter. I'm gonna give them my address.
P.O. Box.
I'm going old school. I'm going back. P.O. Box. P.O. Box. I'm going back. No, fuck social media, yo. Eso me tiene en trouble.
No, but the
How do you-
hipsters are gonna be into
Yo,
it.
no.
Watch.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
How do
Go
you
ahead.
balance it? Because it's a two-parter. Like, okay, how do you balance it, and what is the advice for these upcoming comedians that were birthed into social media and they're trying to create material, but it's so distracting?
Yo, they're different than me because they operate thinking like they're on social media, where I have to think, do social. Every day I'm like, yo, Mark, post something today. Like that's a real fucking thought. I don't wake up going, yo, and I turn on Snapchat and I be like, yo, I just woke up right now. Yo, I'm gonna go brush my teeth. And then I come out the bathroom and go, yo, what's up, party people? My fucking teeth, look at my shit, and ready for. That's not me. I'm from a different time, B.
Yeah.
Like, so every day I gotta go, Mark Viera, post on shit. Maybe, and yo, bro, I say, if you're just starting comedy, know that social media is you. It's going to help you with your career. It's going to help you push your product. Think of yourself as a product that you have to literally get behind yourself and fucking push that shit through anything that people will watch you on. You have, I say now you have your own TV channel. Put stuff on it that people want to see, So I stay true to that. And my social media is alive. It's Mark Viera comedy on everything. So Mark, M-A-R-K, V-I-E-R-A comedy on every platform. Yo, my website, markviera.com. And my YouTube, I got YouTube right now too. So people can follow me, YouTube.com/Mark Viera, and subscribe. Hit the little bell. Bing, bing.
And you'll be able to catch him on
HBO!
What?
The next
HBO
ep-
Latino, baby.
It's not TV, it's HBO.
That's right.
Latino.
And
Latino.
I got a fight in December. I'm on HBO Boxing también. No, I'm just
Like, what are you training for? What?
You're fighting Canelo?
I'm fighting Canelo's little brother, Manelo. He don't really.
Manelo?
How about that?
Manelo.
Ay, Manelo Alvarez.
You guys, please put your hands together one time for Mark Viera.